Today, Russian LGBT activists said they were invited to meet with President Barack Obama on the sidelines of this week's G20 summit in St. Petersburg. This news comes just a little over a month after President Vladimir Putin signed an anti-gay bill into law that has outraged many around the world for starting a state-sanctioned witch hunt. So with 5 months to go until the Sochi Winter Olympics, how should the world react? Let's go back to the G20 and the LGBT activists in Russia being invited to meet with President Obama. What do you think will come out of that?
Well, at least it will give visibility to the issue, even beyond the visibility that it already has. The issue is real. The issue is here. A lot of LGBT organizations and LGBT people and just progressive people around the world raised hell, so to speak, enough that President Obama will meet with LGBT activists in Russia. There are so many things that we can do, so many things. And everybody on their level can do a little bit. And I know a lot of people ask, what can I do personally? So, for example, if you were considering going to Russia for a visit, maybe you should reconsider. Maybe you should bring your money somewhere else. If you want to contribute, there are many organizations right now in the United States that are in contact with Russian LGBT that will be able and are providing support to LGBT on the ground. One of the things that Russo LGBT was doing a lot of activism work. We are protesting. We did with Queer Nation this infamous or famous actually Russian vodka dump, or last Wednesday Coca-Cola dump. All of this done to bring attention of progressive people to what is going on in Russia.
Wes, you wrote a piece that's on the Huffington Post. It's also in our resource well called Growing Up Gay in Russia. And I just want to read an excerpt from your piece and ask you about it. You say, "No, I'm not surprised by Russian homophobia. I'm only surprised by America's sudden interest in brutal, inhumane treatment of sexual minorities in Russia. It's not new. It's been that way for a long time. And to all the condescending liberal apologists, please don't compare the United States problems to what's happening around the world. You have not the faintest idea. You are lucky, lucky, lucky to live here." What do you mean by that?
Well, I think it's obvious. I mean that, the situation in the United States, comparing United States and Russia is like comparing apples and oranges. There's no concept of human rights in Russia as far as I'm concerned, as far as like from what I was growing up. And I know some people would disagree with me because some people come from big cities like Moscow and St. Petersburg. They're kind of more cosmopolitan and more slightly more progressive than the rest of the country. But if you talk about most of the Russia, it's like the mentality is stuck in the Middle Ages still. So I talk about, in my article, I talk about the fact that in the United States, there has been this history of that fight for equal rights, whether it's for women, for religious minorities. There's this history. In Russia, it's not really that way. I mean, I'm not Jewish, but I remember experiencing, seeing just terrible examples of anti-Semitism and racism on daily basis there, and it wasn't even looked down upon, it wasn't discussed, it was just, it was assumed that it's okay to be racist, it's okay to be anti-Semitist, it's okay to be a misogynist. So for gay rights, I want to be optimistic, but I think it's hard to expect the same kind of equality there that we have here.